All right, let's talk about the wild, dramatic, and just absolutely fascinating career of Johnny Depp. I mean, it's a real roller coaster, right? We're talking about a story of rebellion, unbelievable fame, a truly shocking fall from grace, and maybe one of the most public comebacks we have ever seen.
But to really get to the heart of it all, we have to start with this one question. What if the most iconic pirate of a generation, a character loved by millions, was a performance the studio absolutely hated at first? Seriously, Captain Jack Sparrow was almost sunk before he ever even set sail. So, let's get into it.
To understand why he's such a rebel, you gotta go all the way back to the beginning. This first chapter is all about how a kid who just wanted to play guitar and who never even planned on being an actor became one of Hollywood's greatest outsiders.
You know, Johnny Depp wasn't born into some famous family. His childhood was pretty chaotic, actually. They moved constantly, more than 20 times. And his first love, his real dream, wasn't the big screen. It was music. He was a guitarist who kind of just fell into acting by accident. A movie star by chance right from the start. And you can see this rebellious streak play out right from the beginning of his career. He becomes a massive teen idol from 21 Jump Street, but he hated it. He hated being the pretty boy, so he fought against it, hard. He started working with Tim Burton to play these wonderfully strange outcasts like Edward Scissorhands. He was building his entire brand on being different. And that exact same rebellious spirit is what led him to the absolute peak of his career, and to the one role that changed everything. A role that, you guessed it, nearly got him fired.
I mean, can you just picture being in that room when Depp first showed the Disney executives his vision for Captain Jack Sparrow? With the slurred speech and the swishy rock and roll swagger, they panicked. They were absolutely convinced he was ruining their massive summer blockbuster.
But here's the thing, the audience? They completely disagreed. The movie was a massive, colossal hit. We're talking over $650 million at the box office. The very things the studio was so scared of, his weirdness, his unpredictability, that's exactly what made Captain Jack an icon all over the world. And of course, with that kind of success comes an incredible amount of power. The Pirates franchise turned Depp into one of the highest paid actors in history. I mean, think about this. $75 million for one movie. That's just wild. He wasn't just a movie star anymore, he was a global brand. But, as these stories often go, right at the absolute height of his fame, things took a really dark and incredibly public turn. His personal life just exploded into the headlines, and it completely overshadowed his career in a way nobody saw coming. It all kicked off after his divorce from actress Amber Heard. Suddenly, there was this firestorm of allegations. Heard alleged domestic abuse. Depp denied all of it, fiercely, and then he filed a massive defamation lawsuit. She then filed her own countersuit. This wasn't just some messy Hollywood breakup, it became one of the most talked about, most divisive legal battles we've ever seen. And the consequences of all this? They were swift and they were severe. It felt like almost overnight, the industry that had built him into a megastar decided to cast him out. The professional fallout was just devastating. Disney cut ties with him for the Pirates franchise. Warner Bros. Replaced him in the Fantastic Beasts series. I mean, one minute he's the face of major brands, and the next he's seen as toxic. He was basically an exile from the very system that made him. But then, something pretty amazing happened. Just as Hollywood was shutting the door, the public did the complete opposite. They didn't just pay attention, they turned a courtroom drama into a global event. The defamation trial was live-streamed for the whole world to see, and millions of people tuned in every single day. Social media basically became a second courtroom, a court of public opinion. The hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp, was everywhere. It was this huge online movement. And then, on June 1st, 2022, the official verdict came down. The jury, they largely sided with Johnny Depp. For his huge online following, this wasn't just a legal win, it felt like total vindication. A comeback. The internet just exploded. So after that huge public victory, you'd think he'd be ready to put the pirate boots back on, right? Well, not so fast. When he was asked if he would ever go back to the Pirates franchise, he gave this now famous answer, saying he wouldn't do it not for $300 million and a million alpacas. It sounds like some bridges, once they're burned, are really gone for good. So what's next for him? Well, it kind of seems like he's going back to his roots. He's focusing on smaller, independent movies, and he's back on the road, touring with his band. He's rebuilding his career, But this time, it's completely outside that big studio system. He's doing it on his own terms, again.
Which really brings us to the big, final question that's still hanging in the air. The public seems to be on his side, but his history with the studio is, well, it's complicated. So what happens to Captain Jack Sparrow? He says he's done, but fans are desperate for one more movie. Should Disney do whatever it takes to bring him back, or has that ship sailed for good? The one thing we know for sure is that this story is far from over.